and Silencer, 747 can go off, and Hesta can get some big black holes. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
A lot of pressure on Susie this game. The Silencer needs to shine.
Yeah, it really just comes down to these big team fights, and I mean, they get to have some big ones. Yeah. Yep. It could. Yeah. Yeah. It can really go downhill here as we're going to get into the game.
Let's do it.
It is game number 2 between IGV and Danish Bears. Right now, again, the panel agrees the draft looking very rough for Danish Bears. We'll see if they can't find a victory here, grasp it from the jaws of defeat. But for right now, we will jump into the game. The wards being dropped already. Radiant putting some aggressive wards down, as you can see top. It looks like Dogfight saw this one down towards the bottom rune spot. And I imagine it might get countered here by him and In July coming in. And we'll see how the lanes shape up here as we enter the game, Andy.
Yeah, they get the immediate D ward, so already off to kind of a nuisance of a start, I suppose. Who are they going to give it to? Probably Dogfights to take his Sentry money back.
Yeah, give me that. I want that gold.
I like the Venge, though. It's a really inventive pick in the sense that it's another hero that, like Shane said, can cancel BKB Black Hole. So now they have Overgrowth and they have Swap. So it's not going to be like one of those free late game Enigmas. It does give them late game, but I'm actually not worried about the late game as much for them as I am the mid game, because there is just an insane amount of disable and teamfight potential on IGV. And prior to BKB, getting a Black Hole off is going to be tough. It is going to be super tough.
Yeah.
I guess the one solace you can take if you're Danish Bears is that your Silencer is going to hit 6 really fast because he's mid. So you can maybe abuse that, like your Enigma and your Silencer hitting 6 so much faster than normal, that you can maybe get like some early game advantage just having the global that much sooner.
But as Shane mentioned, though, again, this hero very susceptible to ganks, and they already have a ward mid for the Dire. The Radiant squad don't have one over at the bottom rune spot. Of course, it was warded, or dewarded rather, and then of course the top ward is in the jungle, so it's not really going to give too much vision. However, they're going to start out with Danish Bears going for smoking. It's going to be Ryze and Noya heading in. The courier will come through. Cicada, he's on his side. The smoke will come out. Here's the Arcane Curse to follow up. The telekinesis along with it. Rolling Boulder will hit. The slow isn't going to be enough. The Spirit Siphon might keep him alive, and it looks like it will. So hard to gank with that Spirit Siphon leveled up first. Ryze will take some tower hits, and already now Danish Bears have to back out. No kill in hand.
I mean, they're pressuring the lane a pretty decent amount, and I think that Silencer in the 1v1 scenario, he is kind of a lane dominator, so I think that, you know, 747 will do more than okay in this, even if Ryze and Noya decide not to come back for a while.
Will they be able to gank, though, between Dogfights and the Shadow Shaman? I mean, Supra's pulling right now top. They have like going a 2-1-2 kind of going. We'll see if Venge could be okay in this lane alone, but I mean, if you're going to gank, is it going to be Super rotating in on the Rasta? Is it going to be Dogfights? Is it going to be both against the Silencer? Or do you not even do that if you're IG Vitality?
I don't know. I mean, this is a very weird early game because neither team really has like tremendous amounts of roam potential. But I guess if I were to say that, I would kind of expect you just try to get your levels of your IGV, because you're playing around teamfight, right? Like you might not need to rotate as much, as long as your mid's not getting like completely bodied and you're not like forced to react. So keeping a 2-1-2, you know, soaking some pulls or whatever, I think is probably okay for them, as long as they're not, again, losing one lane super hard.
Well, right now, I mean, there's no death at least for Death Prophet, and it's going to get easier when he gets the Crypt Swarm leveled up, but he's sitting at 2 last hits. 747 starting to get bullied a little bit, going for the Glaives. And last word will come out, I'm sure, very soon. And then again, that makes things a little bit more difficult for Cicada. Meantime, though, look at In July's farm. 12 last hits bottom against Ace, surprisingly enough. Ursa usually doing a really good job of blowing heroes out of lane and denying. But against the Anchor Smash at level 2, it can be kind of frustrating for Ace himself.
Yeah, getting the actual CS annoying.
Body blocks mid. Cicada was rolled on, but again, the Spirit Siphon keeping him alive. Fade Bolt, Arcane Curse. He's got another Spirit Siphon he might take down here. It looks like he will. This time they get the kill. It takes a lot. 747 will take some tower hits. Meanwhile, Dogfights. Can Noya get dropped? The Boulder Smash. Is it enough? The Leech Seed will bring him down. Along with, I think, a range creep also hitting him, unfortunately, too. And now Dogfights. 747. Here comes Ryze. Telekinesis and Fade Bolt both back up. He doesn't have the mana for the Fade Bolt. They drop the Sentry as well, and he's caught out and brought down by 747. So they don't They don't just find that kill in the Death Prophet, they get the secondary kill as well. Sure, they lose Noya, but I don't think they're really too bummed out about that.
No, I don't think so. Another roll in here on mid 2.
And they're going to make another go. Another Spirit Siphon used. Broken immediately. Last word. The Boulder Smash to fly through. A couple more glaive hits should do the job, and they will grab another kill on Cicada. And this is what you were talking about, as long as you're not losing mid too hard, and it looks like that's the case. More body blocks. Dogfights might be next. Rise, he's got the Fade Bolt. Is it enough? The Rolling Boulder back in. Noya really wants the kill, and he will get it. 4 kills now going the way of Danish Bears. The early start in this mid lane looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, if they're keeping this Death Prophet like completely destroyed, then this is going to be a much different game for Danish Bears than the previous one. Because this time, you know, there's just an innate lane advantage, I think, for Silencer against Death Prophet, because you just have this orb, right? Glaives of Wisdom is just such a good tool in 1v1s because you can completely ignore creep AI and just hit the other mid. And not really many heroes are allowed to do stuff like that. And you get like these bonus kills on top of it. He's, you know, half a level ahead. I mean, granted, the experience in gold isn't really going hugely into the favor of Danish Bears, but it's about the spread of net worth that matters. If the DP can't tank up, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, whereas last game he had a pretty good start on Cicada. They're going to rotate in again. There is a ward here, however, and they are not smoked up, so Dogfights is going to see this. In fact, everybody will. They will drop a ward. They know that Rise has one and has an extra one on top. Here comes in July. Telekinesis up to the high ground. The Leech Seed will go, and I don't think they can chase this. It is 4.5 minutes, so Shrines will be up momentarily as well. Forcing a lot of pressure, though. I mean, you see the rotation. Supers here now. Dogfights is here. In July, even rotating over. So even though they don't get the kill on Cicada and they can't find the roam, it's still a lot of pressure being applied by Danish Bears.
Yeah, I don't think that too many more rotations like that are going to continue to be successful for Danish Bears. They also have a TP now on KYXY, and he's got that stun, so if for whatever reason they keep playing that aggressively, they will start to get punished for it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of KY, Rise. He might be dead, actually. Telekinesis, Spirit Siphon coming in. Crypt Swarm is ready. Here comes the Arcane Curse, the Rolling Boulder. They want Super instead. Boulder Smash. Noya is doing it again. The last word, and one more auto attack from 747. He is up to 10 stolen intelligence at 5.5 minutes into the game, Andy.
+2. Well, +10, but you know, +2. Yeah, it's a really, really good start for him. He's also, what, 700 away from the Midas right now? He is farming it very well. I mean, at this rate, he's going to have, what, like an 8 or 9 minute Midas?
Yeah, something like that. Something ridiculous, I'm sure. Oh, okay. So they have a small advantage here. I do want to ask you about the bench. I'm curious as to see what KYXY goes for. Sometimes we've seen Midas into like Phase, Hurricane Pike sort of thing. As he might be getting roamed on top lane. Ace is rotated up. Telekinesis to fly through. They've got the Boulder Smash. Rolling Boulder's there. The Living Armor will come out, but I don't think it's going to do enough. Shackles making sure Ace can't get the kill, but it's going to be Noya that secures it. Now chasing after Super. Ace actually just has enough mana with the wand charges for the Earth Shock, and now the Overpower to fly as well. The last auto attack, they get the kill. It is Ace that gets it done with the Orb of Venom, as 747 thought he had it with his auto attack. But again, they will give it to the Ursa, and that's a great haste rune coming out as well for this Silencer.
Man, the movements coming out from Danish Bears, they're so fast and very crisp. A lot different than the first game. Like, they're playing around the part of the map where they know that there's likely not to be any vision because they put so much pressure on the mid lane that IGV react and just ward up both sides of the river, right? So they just go to the next place on the map where they know is not going to have vision, which is top, and they just get a free kill on the bench.
Yeah, Revenge dropped down. Now they will Exorcism in the meantime mid lane. Noya is nearby. Dogfights. I don't know if he spotted Noya. I would imagine he did. He will very soon if he walks any further in. But looks like they might take this tower down as Injuly is rolling in. He's got the Ravage. The Shackles coming up. They want 747. He's in trouble. The Leech Seed. Can they get at least Super out of it? He absolutely can. He will get dropped. He does not have time to buy his Midas nor the money for it. And they take the tower. So it is a 1-for-1 along with the tower trade going for IG Vitality. So some big abilities used and to secure the tower out of it.
It's so worth it, though, to, like, drop Ravage there, drop Exorcism. Like, you need to kill that Silencer. He was getting huge. Like, delay his Midas, delay his impact into the So, even though their ultimates are down... Oh, yeah, he is.
He walked into the shrine and 2 heroes were standing on top of it. That's not great. Anyways,
yeah,
sorry.
It's a little rough. No, it's fine. That was more important than what I was going to say anyway.
What
I
were
just
you gonna
feel
say?
like even at this juncture, you know, that a lot of kills going the way of Danish Bears. If you look at the overall lead and what kind of map influence that Danish Bears were able to gain through their movements, it still doesn't seem like that big, right? So like over time, when these heroes and IGD start to get levels, they're going to have their ultimates, and they've already shown in the previous game that they're very good at playing around their cooldowns. Right. So it's still a lot of work cut out for the side of Danish Bears.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't really seen Hesta Joe get involved yet. I mean, that's one thing. We've seen pretty much everybody else in the game do some work for Danish Bears. But again, this Enigma, we've talked about it. It's a big hero, and it needs to have success in this game in order for them to win. On the other side, KYXY getting ganked, that's really the only time we've seen him. And I was going to ask you a long time ago what you thought his item progression might be. And I'm curious to see your thought process on it.
The item progression for who, sorry?
Venge, the Vengeful Spirit.
Oh, the Venge. Oh, yeah, that's right. You did ask about that. So, typically what I see is, like, Dragon Lance at the Pike. Might have to hold that thought, though. He could be dead.
Again? He's going to die again. Telekinesis looking for the Earth Shock. The Rolling Boulder, that'll keep him there. Super coming in, trying to get off the shackles. Cannot do it in time. Threw up the Ether Shock, and now he's going to get chased down. Noya with some ownage boulder smashes this game, and Super will fall. Trying to give it to Ace. They will give him the double kill. In the meantime, they do rotate Cicada down bottom, and Hesta Joe is picked up. No exorcism needed. I believe just a couple of anchor smashes along with perhaps the Nature's Guys, Leech Seed, and Cicada's damage to do the job. So it is a 1-for-1 trade. KYXY for Hesta Joe.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It looks like they're just going to most likely be giving away tower as well. Super's going to soak some EXP. I don't think he wants to show unless he wants to die. Alright, maybe he...
He has a death wish. He might be baiting this for in July, but he's pretty far. They're diving deep. Telekinesis into an Earth Shock should be coming along with the Overpower. Shackles to come through, but there's the Boulder Smash. Again, Noya on point with those Boulder Smashes. And it will turn into a Tier 1 tower trade. And of course, the big thing is Exorcism was used for the tower down bottom. And just a little bit of mana used for the Ursa in this top lane.
They can probably, like... Well, maybe they don't continue to push because Ravage is up. But I thought with Hesta Joe, you know, TPing up here that they might continue to just go for the Tier 2. Looks like that's not going to be the case. The other option they have is try to play a team fight, you know, bait out an ultimate or two, and then just secure Roshan with the Ursa, because he does have the full blast completed and the phase boots. So this is a really, like, exceptional start in regards to rotations and, like, getting kills and stuff like that. It's just a matter of getting, like, those objectives to really, like, blow the game open. You know, get your Roshan, get all the Tier 1s down, and then really start to, like, control the map, get Blink on Ace, and Hesta Joe to finish his Midas plus whatever item he's going to go for. I don't know about the Midas choice personally, but, I mean, he's a very, very good player in the offlane. He's actually, like, one of my favorite players who's not super well known. So I'll trust him.
I mean, he had a pretty particularly promising performance the other day in the Clockwork, where he absolutely owned. That offlane Clockwork was dominant, and I'm glad we get to see a lot of him, you know, in this tournament. I think, like you mentioned, he's, I guess you could call him underrated. Would you use that term to aptly describe the Enigma?
I don't know if he's underrated. I just think that not a lot of people have watched him, you know. I think he's still, like, a little bit of an unknown for a lot of people. But I think he's super consistent, you know. Yeah. He always does what he's supposed to do in the game.
Yeah. So we will see if that Midas performance is going to work out for Hesta Joe. He hasn't completed it yet. He's 50 gold off or so, and he's going to have it very soon. The one thing you did mention was your concern, I believe, for Danish Bears mid-game, as IG Vitality with all of their abilities. With the start from Danish Bears, are you still concerned for their mid-game potential as we move into it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you got some really good kills, but it's still only like a 1,600 gold lead. That's not much. That's like one team fight. That's not, like, against the kind of team fight that currently IGV are bringing to the table. It doesn't really make me feel super comfortable, but they're playing well. And that's what makes me feel better about it. The fact that they've been able to get so many kills and they've made so many good rotations. If they continue to play at the level they are right now, then I think they'll be able to make it past that really scary mid-game point.
Yeah, we will see. Again, these Midases are going to start kicking in, but not yet. Meanwhile, smoke up for IGV. Are they really going to head into Roche? Again, this is an Ursa lineup on the Radiant side, and they want to take Roche at this point. But now Serpent Wards are dropped. There's the Wave of Tear. and it certainly helps take this Roche down, even if it is only level 1. It is taking a bit of time here. Meanwhile, mid lane in July, walking up. There's the solo black hole. Here comes Ace. Can they drop this, man? He's tanky. They get the mech off. The global is there. He's dropped the boulder smash, stunned up, and killed. They will bring him down along with the Malefice, and now they have to exit Roche. 747 is nearby. There isn't any more global, and now the Exorcism is going to come out. The Arcane Curse doing some work. They really want to take this. Can they find an opening for IGV to turn it around? Well, they head back into Roche. The Serpent Ward's now getting clubbed down by Roche himself.
Oh my god, he got Exorcism. He got Exorcism.
Did he just steal it? No. Rise. Oh, unbelievable. How do you give that away? Sakana, no.
He didn't cast any other spells. He just cast it, walked to his side of the river, pinged mid, and then didn't use Crypt Swarm.
He's going to be like, oops, that's my bad, guys. Forgot there was a Rubik in the game. And we'll see. They're looking to take this. No more Black Hole in July. Walking up, he has Ravage. Ace needs to be careful. Wave of Tear coming through. They get off the Nature's Guys hit. Here comes the Midnight Pulse. Rolling Boulder in. The Exorcism will go on the opposite side. Rise running in. Magnetize dropped as well. Noya about to get dropped. Not dead yet. Will finally fall. They keep everybody fighting fit as the mech is up in 5 seconds for In July. So even with that Exorcism coming in from the Radiant team, they cannot find the way. Not yet, anyway. They're going to head back into Roche. In July is there. He's got that Ravage still ready to go, and that mech, as previously mentioned. Wave of Tear back in the pit just to make sure nobody's inside. They want to finish this. It's about half HP right now. Noya back up in 5. In July walking up, dewarding in the meantime as they drop a sentry down. Such a tense moment here. Black Hole again, just used. 108 seconds on the sidelines. They will get up the silence. Ace walking in, trying to bait this a little bit. Here we go. In July, Boulder Smash comes through. They miss him. Arcane Curse and Last Word, a lot of damage. Swap coming in, KYXY. The mech will fly. Still silenced up is going to be In July. They get off the Overgrowth. Ursa in trouble, the Enrage. They need to keep him alive. The Boulder Smash. There's the Ravage committed. They get the kill. Ursa has buyback ready. They expend a lot now. Telekinesis, Exorcism back up in 42. The Glade's going to work. The Boulder Smash, the Yule Sip to keep him alive for now. The Gush coming in along with the Leech Seed. Rolling Boulder, Serpent Wards drop back down. They are back up, and everybody from IGV rotating in to get that kill on Noya once more. They will lose KYXY as Hester Joe comes in from the back lines, but he's still trying to get away. Malefice back up in 5. Shrine, it's not there for, they just used it. Hester Joe trying to run. In the meantime, they chase down the Rubik. He dies in the mid lane. Hester Joe will go for the TP. He will make it out at the very least. And somehow, Roche has not been taken in all of this. By the way, this fight was so long that Exorcism is about to be back up in 6 seconds.
That was a very interesting series of events. I mean, that's the struggle of Ursa right there. I mean, he really wants to get that Roshan because that's how he plays the game, right? He gets the Aegis, he gets objectives, he continues to get more Aegises, and then, you know, you eventually go high ground and win the game. But IGV understand that if they just stop the Roche, they don't even have to take it themselves, although that was originally their plan, that they'll be able to keep themselves in the game. Because they really need that to hit towers. You know, we talked about like not a whole lot of wave clear on the side of Danish Bears. The wave equilibrium game is going to get a little bit tough for them, I think, as time goes on. And if they're not able to get those objectives quickly and get the Roshans, then yeah, it's going to be a struggle.
Well, the thing for Danish Bears now is they do have the Blink Dagger for the Enigma as his Black Hole comes off cooldown. It's flying out now. Meanwhile, Dogfight's about to walk into a Smoke of Deceit, and it's immediately canceled. The dust goes way too late. They still walk up to the high ground. It's like they didn't even notice. The sounds on 3 coming through. The Exorcism popped, and I believe, Rise, you are dead. They'll try to find Dogfights, but that is a pretty good trade. The Smoke, the Wave of Terror onto 3. They do not have Ravage for 38 seconds, but the Exorcism going swap in. Ace is in trouble. They've got the Blink Dagger, looking for the Black Hole. It's on to 4 with the Global Silence. They've got to bring down In July. Can they get Sakata as well? Super is in trouble, still silence. They at least get Ace. Do they have the damage with 747? The Spirit Siphon, it might be enough. The Boulder Smash, they will lose the Silencer, and now they've got to run on the side of the Radiant. They have the Malefice back up in 5. The Silence is there, but it's Sakata again with the double kill. Without the Ursa, they do not have the damage to bring down this Death Prophet. He is too tanky, and they will lose a 5th hero in Noya as the Leech Seed comes through. They did everything in their power with that Enigma. A 4-man Black Hole, and they still cannot win the fight. Unbelievable.
How did they not win that fight? Good lord. I'm actually speechless. I don't even understand how you lose that.
I don't know either. I can't believe it. There's no Ravage there. There's no Serpent Wards there. Exorcism is running. They have a global on top. I don't know. They killed In July first. That might have been a bad idea. Maybe they should have killed Sakata, but who knows, honestly. Unbelievable. Swap, they're going to find Ace again, and perhaps Roche as well. Ace will fall, and all of a sudden, it's falling apart for Danish Bears. No more black hole. And although Dogfights is low, he has not been caught. Not yet, anyway. Can they get inside the pit? The sounds will come through. And this should be IG Vitality's Roshan. In fact, it is. KYXY will grab the Aegis. And it's all-out retreat now for for Danish Bears. They have Ravage back up. Good Yule Scepter on Tanoia. They'll catch him instead and drop him down. So that is heartbreaking for Danish Bears.
I think the crazy part is, like, Cicada was being, like, camped mid pretty heavily. And he still managed to make his way back into the game and have, like, really good item progression. He didn't die in that black hole, and that's, like, that in a nutshell kind of explains it, because he had the ult going the whole time, so he's, like, dealing all this damage, and then they can't finish him off. He gets an extra Spirit Siphon on somebody, and then it's just, like, the end of it right there. There was just no follow-up DPS, and that black hole, even though it looked amazing, and it was amazing, to be honest, to catch heroes like that and not get interrupted, it wasn't enough, so... Yeah. Based off that alone, you know, they put themselves back in the lead. It's not even like the game is even anymore. It's now all the work that they did, Danish Bears, getting like all those really good rotations and killing, you know, KYXY and killing Cicada, all that work has just been undone. It's actually an uphill battle from here on out.
Yeah, so as previously mentioned, the mid game is very tough for Danish Bears. They finally get the blink for the Ursa, and it just feels as if it might have been their only chance slipping away. Do you think that's the case? What's the road to comeback here for Danish Bears, Rudy?
They need to be able to, like, let the Ursa hit something. That's always the Ursa issue, right? You always do a ton of damage. You might not be, like, the greatest siege hero, but if you get on someone and you can hit them, you'll kill them. The primary issue that they're going to suffer from is not being able to allow him to hit stuff. Like, they have some lockdown, but a lot of it is predicated on channeling spells like Black Hole, and then you have like a lift and a boulder smash. That's it. So it's not really a tremendous amount of lockdown.
Alephis, they're diving in deep. Super. It's a nice little pick if they can get it, but he's somehow picking up a little bit more than maybe they intended. He will fall, but they're underneath the tier 1 tower now, and here comes KYXY, and they're going to lose somebody out of this, and that's unfortunate. The boulder smash will come through. Super actually buys back just to get the Hex off in time. Deny for Noia, not happening. KYXY does more than enough damage to chunk him down. In the meantime, Cicada chasing after Hesta-Joe instead will take his Eidolons away from him. So, and that's all they could get, is they could get a Shadow Shaman underneath the mid-tier 1 tower, and they get a trade out of it. I guess they did get the buyback too, but that's still, it feels a little depressing for Danish Bears.
It was an interesting buyback, to say the least. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at this lineup of Danish Bears, and the Enigma was a really cool pick, but the mid silencer, like last picking the Rubik, it is a pretty good Rubik game, to be fair. But I feel like they suffer from so many other problems, like who hits the towers, who, you know, clears the waves for your team besides, I guess, Enigma. He's like really the only one. Earthshock is not what I would call a full-fledged wave clear ability, so they have a lot of other glaring issues, even though they played like an exceptionally fast-paced and well-executed early game. They're just not able to keep up.
So you think this is more of a draft issue for Danish Bears than anything else?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if they get the first Roche, the game has a different kind of feel to it for them. But even if they get the first Roche, they still have to worry about, like, how do they go high ground? What hero hits the tower? Like, Silencer does a ton of damage to heroes, but he doesn't do a lot of damage to buildings. So I think it would still be very tough. They're relying on like Enigma conversions and stuff like that. It seems tough for them. That's why everyone kind of like bandwagoned on IGV's draft at the panel.
I would argue even the Silencer's not doing that much hero damage as it is right now. Even that last like Roche fight, you know, it wasn't enough to bring down these heroes. So I don't know. I mean, he has a Hurricane Pike now. He needs a lot more. He is going to be going for the Aghanim Scepter with the Arcane Curse on top. It's pretty nice. So I don't know, man. We'll see if they can turn this around. And also the biggest issue too is if you don't commit a push fully, if you're Danish Bears, you're not going to be able to take the tower. It's just going to living armor back up. They've only taken 2 tier 1s in this game, and that's a big issue that you were talking about, hitting towers. They really don't have it in spades. And of course you have Exorcism on the opposite side, so it's very difficult for Danish Bears. The smoke will come out. I don't know if it was on the ward. Might have been. I believe it was close. We'll see if they have an understanding. Danish Bears will draw a circle saying, oh, I think they're over here. However, Rise still might get caught, as there's some deep wards for the Dire, and they're going to head right towards him. They know he's kind of in the vicinity now. Dogfights will walk up, and of course he has the Nature's Guise and will absolutely see him, but he's kind of far away from his team as they head bottom instead. But already backing up is Noya, so at least they avoid the smoke gank and they give themselves some more time. And they'll stay alive.
Yeah, they do avoid it. The thing too is, you're looking at the map right now and you're saying to yourself, okay, what hero is out on the map split pushing, keeping us in this game? You know, it's an Ursa. Like that. That's not the split pushing hero that Danish Bears needs to get back in the game.
Yeah, not the hero they want for that situation, but that's, you know, whatever. You gotta make do, I guess. All right. Ooh, this is a dead tier 3 tower. I certain what they dropped. Spell stolen. What did Rise get? She didn't get anything. I thought he used it here. But now the Shackles Noya caught out. See you later. He rolled in pretty hard. Now the swap from KYXY. That'll be on Hestejo. They cannot find the follow-up, though, and now KYXY kind of in trouble. Global will come through, but no follow-up. They were waiting, trying to get a black hole, perhaps, but looks like there was some miscommunication coming in from Danish Bears' side.
Well, that could just be Rax, honestly, just wasting the global like that. I mean, sure, they don't have... Oh, okay, Ghost came back up. But they don't have wards, but I don't know if they necessarily need it. Sakata probably shouldn't fade this legacy.
Yeah, maybe don't stand in that. He does have living armor. I don't know.
It probably doesn't matter, to be honest. Like, he's got a ton of armor, and he's got the Solar Crest as well on top of that.
Hurricane Pike.
No damage.
Yeah, he took minimal damage there. He has so much tank on him. Swap out, Rise is dead. Noya rolls in, but it's too little too late. However, Rise will buy back, coming in Magic Missile. Black Hole is on to 3, but the Overgrowth to follow up will cancel. Ravage comes in immediately. Rise cannot get the steal off. The Anchor Smash is there if he goes for it. And meanwhile, Super Shackles, everybody getting low. Magic Missile, and now all of your ults are expended if you are the Radiant side. They will lose 2, including Hestejo. Ace will get the Shrine off. The Solar Crest is there. The Spirit Siphon, he is getting dropped. They will lose another on the back end, and now it might as well be 747 on top of it all. He will try with the Hurricane Pike. The Shrine's still going. They're diving in deep, and Sakata just does not care. Rise can do little to no damage, and so too will the tier 4s. In July's low, he will drop, and 747 will get a double. He also does have buyback now. They will steal the Shackles. Can they get this kill? It's so difficult to swap back. And looks like Sakata's fine. Rise will die again. That is a dieback for him. And slowly but surely, IGV are kind of just ending this game little by little, it seems like.
They're just playing so confident. Like, they know everything's down. The Black Hole cancel was really nice. Dogfights is in the perfect position. Gets the Overgrowth. The immediate Ravage after the fact, just to ensure that they don't have any way of getting a kill. And the Ursa just sat there. Like, he couldn't hit anything. That is why you can't rely on just the Ursa. You need some other hero that's going to be able to help supplement the damage.
Alright, Hestejo getting chased down. Magic Missile to come through. KYXY swap back in 5. Still doing a lot of damage. As he has the Force Staff now building into a Heaven's Halberd for him. Dogfight's taking a lot, but he's living armor, so he'll be able to stay alive. And now, it's somehow they didn't take Rax. Actually, they did get the melee Rax, I should say, but that's, I guess they're still alive on Danish Bears. Not by a whole lot, but they are indeed still alive.
It's one of those points in the game where I think you kind of want to go for almost a desperation smoke, but you kind of also want vision. I guess they do have the 1 deep ward that's fading soon, so they'll have some semblance of where IGV is. But if you just let the game play out the way that it has been, you're just eventually going to lose the next set of rounds, because they're going to drop wards again, and you're not going to have a really good avenue to initiate the fight other than Noya pretty much suiciding to go in.
Yeah.
And that's not like conducive to winning the game. So I think if it's possible, if they could get a smoke and find a connect on something and buy themselves a little bit of time for, you know, the Ursa to maybe get BKB, then there might be an avenue back into the game. But otherwise, I feel at this juncture at least, they're going to be trapped in their base. Like, they just don't have split push heroes. They can't clear the waves fast enough to pressure other lanes. They're just suffering from so many different things at the same time.
I'm just concerned they don't have enough damage now that Octarine Core is up. I feel like Sakata is unkillable. I mean, he hasn't died since the beginning of the game, as far as I can remember. And dealing with him is probably the biggest thing they need. It's just not a possibility yet. Midnight Pulse will keep the wave down at the bottom. But here comes the Serpent Wards used in July. Does have a Blink Dagger now ready, but he's inside the Midnight Pulse and just kind of soaking it himself. It's back up in 1. If they want to go for an initiation, they certainly can. However, it looks like they're not committing too hard. The Serpent Wards are gone. They did a little bit of chip damage to the tower, and that is it. So, but that's not the big ability. This is it. It's Sakata's Ghosts. The Exorcism's now out. The Ravage again still ready. And here we go, the high ground push commencing. Alpha's coming in. Wave of Terror, KYXY. They have swap ready. They drop a ward down inside the base as well, just to get vision. Tier 3 tower again getting shredded. Blank Ravage comes out. They find 747. Black hole counter initiation, but there's the overgrowth coming in. The global was not there in time from 747, and so they will lose Hesta Joe, it looks like. The Exorcism still owning the Spirit Siphon as well, and Cicada's already back to full HP. And Ace is swapped out on top of it. The Hex, the Shackles, he has buyback, and he's going to need to use it, but it might be the end already. Wave of Terror, they're pushed back into the base. The Boulder Smash will come through. Danish Bears, again, they're barely just hanging on right now. His Exorcism is now down. CB back in. Dogfights again in the back lines. Nature's Guides will hit onto the rise. Rubik, he'll get caught, Crypt Swarm, and right-click down with Spirit Siphon on top of all of it. And again, they just continue to hit the racks over and over and over again. Dogfights getting Hurricane Pikes. He might actually go down. They have the Sentry, it's enough to get the kill. So that's at least something. But Glyph will come in. Will they back up? Coming in. Immediate Hex onto Ace. This Jackals. This might be a dieback. They need this kill. The Enrage will come out. He will stay alive. He'll try to turn on Ninja, but there's the Guardian Greaves to keep him fighting fit. Coming in is KYXY. Cannot find Ace. Hesta Joe is back, and they want the melee racks, and they should get it with one more auto attack. KYXY's low will go down to 747. Ace is somehow still alive, and now trying to do all the damage in the world. 747 is doing his damnedest. And looks like Cicada just trying to run super, walking back in, suiciding just so he could hex up the Ursa. Now Cicada, ghosts are back up, but he might die here. 747 gets the double kill, and they finally bring down Cicada. Oh, the Goliath is down, but how much can they get with it is the question.
They might be able to get the Mystery 1. Maybe.
Ooh.
Well,
yay.
It's like 60 seconds on the DP, so yeah, they might be able to push that tower. Otherwise, probably not much. I think the global, unfortunately, came a little bit late. 747, I think he might have got clipped by the Ravage, I'm not sure. I didn't see 100%, but because the global was late, the overgrowth canceling the black hole with the BKB being fresh up on Hesta Joe, that was like totally fight ending. If that black hole got channeled and they were able to hit heroes, I think that could have been a hold. But, you know, sometimes in Dota, all that matters is like a second or two.
Yeah, you were right. He did get clipped by the Ravage. In fact, the Tide blinked right on 747, ravaged him immediately, and Global did not come out until it was overgrowth was in the middle of the cast animation, or at least, well, obviously the cast completed. But in July, now getting caught. Ace trying to chase him down, but where's the lockdown? They need that Boulder Smash, and they'll find it, but it doesn't go into July. Instead, it goes onto Super. Guardian Greaves will come out, and Danish Bears are trying to fight, but even without Cicada for another 6 seconds, they already have to back to the Radiant side of the river. Okay, so.
This is going to be the tier 1 mid that never dies most.
Right? I mean, there's a tree in the game. It's not going down unless you can take a full, pretty much fight and transition it quickly. Rise is mega dead. That's one of the most dead Rubiks I've ever seen.
Oh, God.
Dear God.
Yeah, that is... Oh, man, you know what's even worse is there's actually a Halberd, too, on KYXY. So you remember when I said that Ursa couldn't hit anything? Yeah, he's never gonna hit anything. Although he might prioritize using it on the silencer over the Ursa, just for the sole fact that it lasts almost twice as long in a ranged tier.
I will say there is now the Ags up for the silencer. I don't know if that really does anything, but we'll see. Who knows?
Well, it cancels blink daggers. So.
True. Very good point. And there is hold back up, so you know if Danish Bears get a miracle fight, maybe they can make something happen, but as it stands right now, even if that's the case, they will lose out on Roshan and Aegis and Cheese. So either they need to go contest now, or I don't know, they have to fight Aegis and Cheese. So we'll see if they.
I don't think they can contest this. It's such an awkward angle too. Like they have to walk into the Roshan pit, try to get some kind of like black hole against that. I don't know. It seems pretty tough.
I think they smoked on the ward. Maybe they didn't actually. Well, it doesn't really matter anyway.
No one pinged it, so maybe they didn't see. Seems like they did, though.
Yeah. It's too little too late anyways, as we mentioned. I mean, it's already down. KYXY has the Aegis. I believe the Cheese is on Cicada. I think I just saw it. There it is. He's going to have a Shiva's Guard pretty soon, on top of already having the Octarine Core, Dual Scepter, and Solar Crest. So Danish Bears, again, they need that miracle fight, but good luck, man. Let me tell you, good luck. This is not an easy miracle fight to have into Aegis Cheese.
We'll see what they can do. I mean, Enigma's that kind of hero where if you land the one ulti that gets the full channel, and you have like the right combination of abilities, it can be very, very hard to fight.
Oh. Goodbye, Rise. Jump in, Black Hole. Global comes out at the same time. They really want this kill. They want Exorcism down, and it will be. He doesn't get the cheese off. Okay, so far so good. Can they find anything else? In July does have Ravage. Now Ace getting turned on. The Boulder Smash comes through from Noi, but Ace needs to leave. Leech Seed will come out. Does not quite have that BKB yet for the Ursa. Now getting turned on is Noya again. Pretty much suiciding. Here comes the Silencer, though, doing a lot of work. In July gets the Ravage off in time. 747 avoids it, but Ace is in so much trouble. Super from the high ground gets the shackles off. He should fall and will, but it's already 3 dead for the Radiant. But again, Exorcism is down, and now Super is as well, so the Serpent Ward's not there, and of course we're used at Roche anyways. So okay, they have to get pushed back. I mean, yeah, you lose more for Danish Bears, but you get a couple of kills and you hold. That's the biggest thing you hold.
The way I see it is that's a success if you're Danish Bears, because you lost to Rubik pretty much at the start of the fight. He got ward trapped, so he just falls over. Then you're pretty much down a hero. You still managed to get the combination of the Black Hole and the Silence off perfectly, and then boom, dead Death Prophet. And that's the beauty of the lineup that they have, is they can ensure those kills. Until, I guess, you know, Treant gets like, oh, he does have Lotus now. Yeah, I was going to say, until he has Lotus Orb, but he actually has it in his inventory.
Yeah.
So now that's not going to work, as long as Dogfights isn't also getting caught inside the Black Hole.
Well, I will say, here's my thought process. Hesta Joe gets this refresher, which, by the way, he's about, I don't know, 1,000 gold away, a little bit less, 800 gold away. Maybe this gets a bit more interesting, but he's got to get there first. But that could be huge. Double Black Hole, we'll see how good it is for Hesta Joe. Or if you can even get there to begin with. That's a real big question. Speaking of double ultis, Ravage, Tidehunter, he's going to have 2 of them pretty soon. Not yet, though. Again, he's also building into the Refresher Orb.
Yeah, Refresher is like... We saw it happen before already, right? It's at the game ender. Refresher Tide is just such a nuisance.
Swap. Ace probably... Ooh, swap stolen by the Rubik. It might be good. They might get Aegis here. KYXY, he'll lose it, but the Exorcism's still going. The Serpent Ward's dropped as well. Hesta Joe, again, doesn't have that refresher yet. They really could use that second Black Hole, but they might lose a lot here. There's the Nature's guys coming out, 747. The Overgrowth, they're pushing them back while they take the Tier 3 tower. They might get the racks. The Glyph will come through. Can they get dogfights? And if so, is that going to be it? They need 2 more auto attacks. They will grab it. Melee Racks in trouble. Boulder Smash now. Ace coming in. Global Sounds to come through. They want KYXY. Forced down to the low ground. 1 more auto attack. He'll stay alive. In July, not going to be so lucky. There's that Black Hole coming in from Hesta Joe. He just got the refresher. They grab the kill. Can they get Sakata on top of it? He pops the cheese. The Earth Shock. He's still alive, but he will get dropped in the end. It's a triple kill for 747, and they have not lost to Magus just yet. It's a triple kill and 4 dead for IG Vitality. And again, Andy, they hold, but just barely.
Yeah, they got the 1 range racks left. That was a really clutch refresher purchase. Totally caught them off guard, and I mean, you know, it makes sense. You don't expect the hero to not have an item and then have a full item after the fact. Although I guess he had the 2 perseverances in his backpack.
In the back, yeah, in the backpack.
So I guess they could have anticipated that, but would have been very difficult. But either way, you know, the damage is dealt. All they need to do really is walk down. It's just a range racks too. That's the worst part. They don't regenerate. So you can just walk in, drop wards, walk away, or just, you know, sit Sakata on the high ground with ghosts and hope for the best. Because once they get Megas, that I don't really think there's a comeback for a team like this against Megas.
They have like no creep clear, like at all.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
great.
I'm stupid. I didn't even know they changed Silencer Eggs. I never play that hero. Apparently it does something completely different now.
It's kind of interesting. It's weird. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it actually seems like it could be pretty useful. Just because like the spell immunity thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who played Silencer in 2017 anyway? Whatever.
In the mid lane, even more. So that's like I've seen a couple NA and SA teams run it, but it's working. I mean, well, of course, 747 is an NA player, so he knows the gloriousness of the mid lane Silencer. But well, we'll see if he can't do some work. He has the Bloodthorn. Another item was just picked up. What was it?
He's insanely rich, to be honest. Like, if he starts trucking on some hero that doesn't have BKB, they're just gonna explode. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, really. I mean, I guess if you look at it this way, does anyone actually have a BKB on IJB? Nope.
No, I don't think. Which I'm kind of surprised about, given the game that we're currently in. I guess they're like, oh, there's a Black Hole or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the combination of Black Hole and Global, I think, kind of gives you less incentive to buy the item. because Midnight Pulse pierces BKB, and then you just disabled anyway, and the global overlaps it, so it's like, okay, I can just buy something to dispel, and it's pretty much just as good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see how much this Axe does. I think he had it in the last fight, and was doing some serious work. I mean, you saw the Trinket get kind of chopped down pretty quickly, but we'll see if it's going to be even better this time. Double Hole is ready in 20 seconds for Hesta Joe. That should be interesting. I'm excited to see how this goes. But again, like you mentioned, you really just have to do one thing if you're IGV. You could probably wait for Roshan even if you really wanted to, but they're going to smoke up instead and head over towards the base. And if they win one fight, there's a good chance they win the game. Buyback status is... They've got 3 at the very least, but again, the Silencer not having his is probably the most important thing. Ursa as well, actually, both of those years. I thought the Ursa had it, but he doesn't. He does have his BKB now, which is something. KYXY looking for swap, cannot find it in time. They'll drop the ward. This is going to get countered. But Super comes in. They're going to try to find the ward trap. Here comes the BKB from Ace. Super in trouble. The global silence coming out. The black hole. It's on to 2. They've already dropped the Tide Hunter. The Magnetize coming in. The Telekinesis. They need this kill. And he will use himself for now. He's alive, but the black hole coming back in again. Hesta Joe has done his job. KYXY, he did get the swap, but the Magnetize will bring him down. It is all 5 dead from IG Vitality. And they will get the ranged Rax bottom. But again, that Rax top stays alive. The creeps are coming in, and Ace has to deal with this. And it will not regen. One more victory coming out from the side of Danish Bears. They're still alive.
That Silencer does so much damage. He killed the Tide Hunter before he got a Ravage off. I think Angelai might have like cancel casted or something once, because he crackened like immediately. When you're getting hit that hard, the damage threshold is only 450. So you get hit like twice and you're gonna Kraken, more or less. And he had Greaves.
Yep.
So I don't know, man, that was crazy. He didn't use Refresher or Ravage. That was a very good hold, to be honest. I mean, yeah, sure, they lose the range racks, but considering the circumstances, taking a fight that well, impressive stuff. Now if they could just kill creeps and push the waves
right.
up, they would,
well,
they
they're
would
trying.
totally be in this game.
I mean, they bought a Maelstrom for Noya, but he's not the only hero that needs that item. And now the thing I'm really concerned about is Black Hole and Refresher are down for 90 seconds at least. So what do you do without that? Global is down for a little bit longer, or for a little bit shorter, excuse me, 40 seconds or so. So can you fight if you're IGV now? Yeah, you don't have Exorcism, but it's back up in 3 because you have Octarine Core. So what? What do you do here if you're a Radiant now?
I think well, if you're Radiant, you try to not take a fight in your base. I think that's the biggest issue. Because if you let them walk to your base again, and they drop another set of wards, the game is over. Because you're just going to get Megad. And your team cannot deal with Megas. You don't even have a Maelstrom on anyone. Okay, never mind. Noya has one. And now there's 2. Okay, so we're prepping. We're prepping for the Megas. That's the plan. You really don't want IGV to be able to walk up and do this.
I mean, let's just go with the assumption that they will get Megad. Now they're coming in. They're going to find Super. He can't drop wards fast enough. Hesta pops the BKB. Now the Telekinesis. Here's the damage coming in. Cicada, the Eul Scepter, and July going to get the Ravage off of the BKB, so they're the Guardian Greaves. He's going to try to refresh and gets away. Cicada gets dropped down. 747 does the job. Dogfight's trying to go in and right-click. Cannot do so. Rolling Boulder. Boulder Smash is available for Noya if he can get it off. Trying to find it. KYXY. Can they get this kill? The urn is up as well. The Magic Missile, Wave of Tear. Where's the follow-up? Hesta Joe has already blinked. He's got it in 1. He needs the Malefice. The Force away. Might keep him alive. KYXY. Oh, Noya. That was interesting. I think he was trying to push Hesta Joe on the high ground, but couldn't quite get it done. Still, though, man, another great fight without Black Hole.
IGP actually got a bit impatient. They didn't wait out the Roche. So now there's an opening. There's an opportunity, you know, Ace, or maybe they just give this to 747 because they have an influence. I really think they should give it to the Silencer.
He can drop the TP.
Nah, they're not going to, I think. Ace.
What about the cheese, though? That's the question.
Yeah, like, I assume he takes whatever, you know, Ace wants. But they get the power, and then tier 1 falls.
Oh, it's gone, man. They did it.
That's it. Let's go.
All right, well, again, it is a long road. In spite of it all, I want to point out, Danish Bears have a 1,000 net worth advantage, 1,500, despite being down, let's say, almost all of the racks, and also still all of the tier 2 towers up for IG Vitality. Just think about that for a second. You're winning in net worth with those
tower
buildings.
difference, yeah, and you have no racks except for 1 range rack stop. Yeah, it's a little bit strange. The late game Silencer is coming in huge, though. He just destroys everyone. 50
54 stolen intelligence, 200 attack range for his level 25 talent. Again, the silence aspect of it, somebody's silence step and you start hitting him with glaives, and it hurts a lot. So it might even get worse here for IG Vitality, but again...
Oh, Super's going for the play. He's got the Invis rune mod. This is it. This is the moment he's been waiting for.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to get this time. The Serpent Wards are going to do.
It's not backdoor protected.
Yeah, there's creeps bottom. Meanwhile, they will find Cicada. The Yule Sister will come through. Boulder Smash, there's the global. They drop and get the kill, but in the meantime, guess what's gone? It's the range Rax top. And too little, too late for Hester Joe as he TP'd back home. Elsewhere, Dogfights is in the trees, and Noya actually rolls into him, which is pretty hilarious. 747, the evasion is there. Rolling Boulder, they're still trying to get vision. There's the curse, and he should be dead. Bloodthorn will kill him. It's actually the Boulder Smash that does it. Meanwhile, 747 silences himself because of the Lotus Sword, which is kind of funny. But now, again, Andy, this is the big thing. It's Megas now that you're fighting up against without really any Mjolnirs, not yet anyway.
Listen, we got Maelstroms coming out in mass. This was Danish Bear's plan the whole time. Lure
Get
them
down,
into
Megas.
a false sense of security. Get the silencer super fed, and then just win one fight, crush it, no buybacks, boom, end me. Let's go.
That's some 4D chess they're playing right there, let me tell you.
I mean, I would lose to that probably.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't? Perhaps IGV can win, but Maelstrom's up on Rubik, on the Ursa. Enigma is building into an Octarine core, which I completely understand and support that decision 100%. Silencer is also building his Maelstrom. He just bought something. I thought he had like 3,000 gold and bought something with it, but I'm not sure. And then, of course, the Maelstrom for Noya, so... All right. We're in.
Oh god, watching them try to kill Megas is almost physically painful.
It's sad. It's a little sad. It's a little depressing, for sure.
They can't kill the creeps, Mott. They just can't kill them.
Dude, they've got Vlads. They just need Mjolnirs. It's going to take maybe 20 more minutes. And then they might lose another fight and just lose the game. We'll see. I mean, the Dream is, again, still alive. They're going for a solo kill into Ace top lane, and he is in trouble. He does have the Aegis, but boy, he needs to get out. They're going to try to turn. They rotate in onto Super. They actually can't find the Aegis, but however, Dogfights is trying to snipe this. Although I think Ursa is out. He just TP'd away. Noya looks a little dead. Perhaps. Yep, good Hex. He tried rolling out. The Shackles will be there. Angel to come in with the Anchor Smash along with KYXY's auto attack damage. He is dead for 72. So just like that, you push out a little bit, and your Earth Spirit dies, and he is dead without buyback for another 66 seconds.
I think that IGV are gonna maybe just wait it out a little bit, you know? Let the lanes push in. You can slow roll this if you really want to, because of the lack of wave clear on the side of Danish Bears. You just keep them in the base, take a look, you know, chip all the other buildings down, the shrines, the effigies, whatever, and then once the throne is like completely naked, then it just becomes like insurmountable. You can't really defend it. Because creeps are going to start chipping the throne, so it's just a matter of time, really. Unless they pull some like crazy comeback black hole like they did earlier, where they were able to turn the team fight with a global.
I mean, I don't know, man. They've had some... Hester Joe has played amazingly with these globals now in sync with 747. Another thing I'm a little bit disconcerted or concerned about in terms of, you know, what IGV are building. Ethereal Blade is the choice, I believe, for Cicada. I think he already has the Ghost Scepter flying out, and I think that's pretty good considering the heroes they're up against in this game.
Yeah, considering that Glade gets you for like 10 billion damage, I think it's very good.
Yeah.
He killed a Tidehunter in like 5 hits.
Yeah, he made him look like not a problem whatsoever. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the Megas, if they were just like, if they had one more set of racks and like a tier 3 along with it, this would be a whole different story, but Megas are a complete difference. And they really could use some Mjolnirs and other things, and I don't know, man.
Well, the other thing that kind of sucks about the situation, too, is like, Megas don't give as much money. So, you're like losing net worth while constantly being in your base, killing the creeps, while the enemy team is like, they can naturally pull ahead just because they're getting more out of the map, you know?
Right.
It's unfortunate situation, to say the least. It just kind of makes me wonder, you know, what if they had taken a couple of earlier fights a bit better? What if they had gotten, you know, Hester Joe's core items up?
Global coming out. They're trying to fight. As you can see, Rise got pulled. Magic Missile looks like he should fall. Ace is going to come in. He does have buyback on the Rubik. Will he use it? In July, silenced up now, the Magnetize. This is not the best fight as Hesticho's BKB is now down. Super coming in, the Hex is up on the Ursa, and he is going to get ward trapped. He does have the cheese, the Ravage will come through, Refresher is up. Rubik will buy back, but they've already lost 2. No buyback. Hesticho refreshes himself, trying to get out, looking for a black hole. He'll find it on Cicada, but where's the follow-up damage? Now 747 getting run at by In July, and they're going to turn it into 3, potentially 4, and maybe gain. Danish Bears, they held as well as they could have. But in the end, it is IGV taking the victory and eliminating them from ZOTAC.
Yeah, very nice series there from IGV. A little bit of a blunder, not waiting out the rush when they were pushing into the top lane. They just thought, hey, we'll just end the game. But that halberd at the very end just made 747. He was just standing there going, oh, I can't actually BKB, and I can't hit targets even if I did BKB. So. Yeah, Halberd, pretty good item against range damage dealing heroes. Today we learned. But I still think that their draft was very, very difficult to win with. Like, you need to get Roshan, like the first 2 Roshes, almost every